So again, Phoenix mission for your gang. It's 15. How many questions today? Yeah. And it starts with temple architecture. First question is on temple architecture. So again, the question is, which of the following temple complexes of India does represent typical Chola style? Okay. So you know there are different styles of temple architecture. UPSC frequently asked you questions on that. Temple architecture. Broadly speaking, Nagara Dravida, Varsara styles of temple architecture. Nagara has subdivisions. Similar way, this Dravida is also having many substyles. So coming to temple architecture, please focus on the characteristics of Nagara, Dravida, Varsara styles of temple architecture. And the characteristics are and the examples are very important. Examples are very important. And also the patrons. I mean various dynasties which patronized Nagara, Dravida, Varsara styles of temple architecture. Now coming to this, which one of the following temple complexes of India does represent the typical Chola style? Am I right? So Chola style means it is Nagara, Dravida or Varsara. Chola style, Nagara, Dravida or Varsara. It's a Dravida only. It's a Dravida only. So go for it. So the best example of the Dravida style, which is Dravida style, it between which rivers? Vindhya Himalaya range, that is Nagara style. Am I right? Then Krishna and Kaveri. I mean the style of temple architecture which developed between the region, that Krishna Kaveri region, it's Varsara or Dravida. Then Varsara, Vindhya Krishna. Okay. UPSC can ask questions. Sometimes history can be, along with the geography, they can ask questions. So anyway, here the answer is Brihadeshwara Temple, Tanjavur. One of the finest specimen of the Dravida style of temple architecture. Dravida started by Pallavas and climaxed during these Cholas. Now, Kandariya Mahadev temple is the best example for Nagara style. Nagara style. You know three sub-styles of Nagara. Solangi style is there, Odisha style is there, and this Central Indian style is there. Okay. Now the only surviving work of Sangam, second Sangam and earliest to work on the grammar of the Tamil language. So Sangam age, Sangam literature, that's very, very important. UPSC asked in prelims and mains about the Sangam literature and how it portrayed the socio-economic or cultural aspects of South India. Coming to Sangam, three Sangams are there. First Sangam attended by gods, goddesses. They don't have the habit of making the running notes and the short notes and all. Nothing is left. No written notes or records are available. Second Sangam, there is one literary work available belonging to Second Sangam. That is, yes, Pattupata Tolkappiyam Ettutoge Shilapadigaram. That is Tolkappiyam. Tolkappiyam is Tamil grammar. It's work on Tamil grammar by Tolkappiyar, and also it throws light into socio-cultural, economic aspects of Sangam age. And Pattupatu, Ettutoge, all these are Padinail Kilkanak, all these are works of third Sangam. No? Northwestern India, Rowlatt Satyagraha took a mass character under the leadership of Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan. Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan is related to Rowlatt Satyagraha, non-cooperation movement or CDM. Frontier Gandhi, his voluntary crop, red shirts, CDM. So it's important. Rowlatt Satyagraha, NCM, CDM, Quit India. Please take care what all the prominent leaders, the leaders associated with the major movements in the Indian freedom struggle. That type of the questions regularly asked by UPSC. You should know some prominent figures associated with the Swadeshi movement or Rowlatt Satyagraha or non-cooperation movement or Home Rule League or Quit India or in between CDM. Okay, you should have an idea regarding what all the prominent figures related to or associated with the various movements. The first one is wrong. Nehru report declared immediate step is complete political autonomy. That was the demand. Yesterday also we discussed here, for this group we discussed, there is a question on Nehru report. Is that immediate step was Purna Swaraj? Dominion status only. Dominion status. So both are wrong. Coming to next one, temple architectural style of Pallavas does not include. So you should have an idea. The temple terminology is important for you. We have done another video in the YouTube channel, temple terminology. So here, Kaulnir Shigaras, Shigara concept, you know that what is called a conical tower or the beehive shaped tower. I mean, the walls are, you know, curving inward when it goes to top. That is a feature of the Nagara style of temple architecture. Am I right? Nagara style. So in South Indian style, Pallavas started Dravidian style. Dravidian style does not have that Kaulnir tower. They have pyramidal towers. Am I right? So the answer is A. B, C, D, they connects with, matches with the Pallava style of temple architecture. Now consider the following statements about the Vernacular Press Act 1878. Lord Ripon passed Vernacular Press Act 1878, that is true only, you know that, am I right? Yeah, go for Nationalist Contempt Act called it as a gagging act. Then there is, the act was repealed, it was later repealed by the government of Lord Lytton. So actually this act was passed by Lord Ripon or Lytton? Lytton. Lord Lytton. It was passed by Lord. So that's why again these two people are very important here. Viceroys, you know. One guy is known for constructive programs, one guy is known for destructive programs. Okay, that royal darbar conducted by this guy. Which guy? Lytton. Okay, and import duties abolished by Lytton. Okay, Vernacular Act passed by Lytton, not Ripon. Okay, so Lytton passed Vernacular Press Act. This is the way UPSC will trick you. Instead of Lytton, they will put Ripon. Sometimes they will change the year also. Okay, first statement is wrong. Third statement, the act was later repealed by government of Lord Lytton. It is not Lord Lytton, it is Lord Ripon. So interchanged. So not correct they are asking. First and the third statements are not correct. Who among the following not a member of the cabinet mission? Not a member here. John Samuel is not a member. Rest of them are members of cabinet mission, we know. Now, which among the following act appointed Warren Hastings as the first Governor General of Presidency of Fort William? Warren Hastings as the first Governor General, that is Regulating Act 1773. Regulating Act 1773. So, which act introduced that Court of Directors and Board of Control? Court of Directors and Board of Control? That's Pitt's India Act. Am I right? And the act which provided for the first time 1 lakh rupees for the promotion of education of Indian natives? Charter Act 1813. Okay. And which act provided for appointment of Indians into Viceroy's Council? Indian Council Act 1861. Portfolios implementation for the first time. So go for all these. All the acts are important for you. They will change here and there and will confuse you. Okay. Take care of it. Now coming to next year, revolutionary leaders like Bhagat Singh, Sukhdev, Rajguru were hanged during the tenure of Lord Wavell, Dufferin, Irwin, Chelmsford. So viceroys are important for you. Viceroys, okay, viceroys, the tenure of the viceroys and what all the major events happened during their tenure in India, or what all the reforms undertaken by them. For example, William Bentinck, the first Governor General of India. Is that true? Governor General of India. Warren Hastings was the Governor General of Fort William. And by this act, which act 1833, na? Centralization completed. And this William Bentinck was appointed as the Governor General of India. Am I right? So here, William Bentinck is known as the wind of change, or his tenure is known as the wind of change. Lots of reforms undertaken by him. Similar way, these viceroys had done lots of reforms. Reforms of the viceroys, governor generals, and the major events happened during their tenure. It's a sure short question in the prelims examinations. Study well. So here, they were hanged to death during the tenure of Lord Irwin. Lord Irwin, during his time, you can see that the Gandhi-Irwin Pact is also signed. Now there is a question, consider the following statements about Abul Kalam Azad. He was the president of INC during Quit India movement. He was founder of Indian National Association of Calcutta in 1876, published the weekly Al-Hilal. Is that true? Is that true? All the statements are true. He was the president of INC during Quit India. Yes, of course. He was the founder of Indian National Association of Calcutta, 1876, Indian National Association, Surendranath Banerjee and Anand Mohan Bose, etc. It is not Abul Kalam Azad, but he is the publisher of weekly Al Hilal. Okay, so 1 and 3 is matching. Your answer is D. There is a term Paramida in Buddhism refers to what? Paramida is what? Paramida is what? Is that one of the titles of Buddha? Is that fortnightly meeting in Sanghas? Is that Buddhist monks in general? Paramidas. You eliminate all B, C, D, and your answer is A. You come up with A. A is your answer. So terminology, it's that cultural terminology, it's again very important. So many questions being asked. So you prepare very well for that. The demands of Young Bengal movement included what? Demands of Young Bengal movement included. Krishnendu, what is your opinion? Young Bengal movement, the Derosians movement, Henry Vivian Derosio is known for his radicalism. One of the reasons for failure of Young Bengal movement is it was too much radical. Am I right? Okay, coming to this, female education was a demand of Young Bengal movement? Yes. Universal adult suffrage? Nobody even thinking about that during that time. Eliminate it. Protection of the riots from oppressive zamindars? Self-rule for Indians? Self-rule for Indians? Self-rule for Indians, it's a much later only that idea came into the, even though there is a term Swarajya concept was there, but the self-rule for Indians, it became a demand much later on. Am I right? So here I think female education is okay. Protection of the riots from oppressive zamindars is also okay. Okay. In fact, yes. Riots means the farmers. R-Y-O-T is, riots, farmers. Riotwari settlement, So here you can go for the answer, that is 1 and 3 only. Outcomes of the Munda rebellion. Outcomes of the Munda rebellion was or were recognition of these Kunkadi rights, enactment of Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act 1908, creation of separate electorate for Mundas, abolition of Bet Bihari. What were the outcomes of the Munda rebellion? So Sandal rebellion is there, Munda rebellion is there, okay, Bill rebellion is there. So many tribal peasant uprisings are there. One of the common reason for such a tribal peasant uprisings were, yes, that is a destruction of the traditional self-sufficient economy. That was by the colonial rule. That is a common reason, but many reasons are there. Now, what were the outcomes of Munda rebellion? It's recognition of the Kunkadi system, that is joint farming, collective farming. Yes, that is recognized. Then enactment of Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act. Without valid solid reasons, you can't evict a farmer from the land. Okay, so Tenancy Act is there. Then abolition of Bet Bihari, forced labor is also abolished, but this creation of separate electorate for Mundas is not there. So 1, 2 and 3 has to be your answer. Now consider the following about the Mughal army. Ahadis were directly recruited by the emperor. Ahadi troops. It was asked in prelims examination in one of the previous year's questions, So is that true? Ahadis were directly recruited by the emperor. That is true only. Okay, even during the time of Akbar, you can see Ahadi troops are there. Ahadi soldiers received lower salaries than other categories of the soldiers. That is wrong perception, wrong idea. They are personal force of the emperor, so obviously salary will be also high. Am I right? So, Dakhili troops were directly managed by the state and paid from the imperial treasury. That is right or wrong? Dakhili troops were directly managed by the state and paid from the imperial treasury. That is also true. Now the cavalry was the most important of Mughal army and was regarded as the flower of the army. That is also true regarding Mughal army. So this type of the questions being asked by UPSC in the prelims examination, you prepare very well for that. Now there is next question. Consider the following statements. Consider the following statements. Chaudu was 1/4 of the land revenue paid to the Marathas in order to avoid Maratha raids. Chaud and Sadesh Mugi. Okay, in Maratha, in the hilly regions. So one of the major source of income is you can't do that extensive agriculture in the slopy hills now. and there is no scope for that much industries also. So one of the major source of income for them is obviously it is taxation. Am I right? Chaud and Sadeshmughi. So what is correct here? Shivaji's Ashtapradhan Sachi was the in charge of the correspondence department of the state. Then Maratha Confederacy included Gaikwad at Baroda, Bonsle at Nagpur, Holkar at Indore, Scindias at Bareilly and Peshwa at Pune. What is your answer? Three statements are there, your answer has to be. What about the first statement? Is that true? Is that true? Come on, you tell me. First statement is true. Chaud was 1/4 of the land revenue paid to Marathas in order to avoid Maratha raids. That is true only. That is true only. So you can go for that. Now Shivaji, so you know the difference between Chaud and Sadeshmughi. Okay. Then Shivaji's Ashtapradhan Sachiv is the in charge of correspondence department of the state. That is true only. You know what are the different portfolios of the ministers in his cabinet. Okay. Maratha Confederacy included Gaikwad at Baroda, Bonsle at Nagpur, Holkar at Indore, Scindias at Bareilly. Scindias at Bareilly? Gwalior. So this is the way they will slightly change the places. It will confuse you. Okay. So third one is wrong. 1 and 2 correct. The member of the Constituent Assembly which drafted the Constitution of India were nominated by the British Parliament, nominated by the Governor General, elected by the legislative assemblies of various provinces, elected by Indian National Congress and Muslim League. C's answer means elected by legislative assemblies of the various provinces. Okay, we have seen what all the mechanism provided by cabinet mission for this election to constituent assemblies, selection of constituent assembly members, etc. Okay, so they are elected by legislative assemblies of various provinces. Grouping of the provinces also we have seen. Am I right? So go for cabinet mission, its proposals, what kind of the mechanism it devised for constituent assembly. Okay, constituent assembly is for drafting future constitution. Now coming to the next question. With reference to advent of Europeans to India, consider the following: Thomas Roy and William Hawkins were ambassadors of French East India Company. No, straight away eliminated. They were ambassadors of British East India Company. Now they were ambassadors of British East India Company. They visited the court of Jahangir. Yes, they visited the court of Jahangir. So you can eliminate, visited the court of Akbar, you can eliminate. There were Jesuit missionaries and visited to propagate Christianity in India. Most importantly, two choices are there, that is 2 and 3 were ambassadors of British East India Company and visited the court of Jahangir. So actually what is important is all of you please try to solve maximum number of questions. You know, you can. What I would say is like now only few days left for this examination. You have done your studies, your preparations. Now the most important thing is like solving. You know, that is the perfect way of saving your time. Also, by solving lots of questions, you will revise lots of topics. Not only in history, in geography, economy, polity, environmental science, science and tech, current affairs. Try to solve maximum number of questions, and I will make sure you will get different question booklets and you will solve it. After the class is over, definitely you sit and solve it. Okay, solve maximum number of questions, revise very well, and also do that postmortem of each question. Why that is wrong, why that went wrong, why it went right. You must have a self-assessment, you know. Not only focus on why I made it wrong. You should also focus on why I made it right. Okay, so have an analysis after every test. So your target has to be how many questions you will solve every day? How many questions? I would say that a minimum 100 questions you solve every day. Now don't compromise with 100 questions. At least 100 questions every day. And from May onwards, I will say that you must take the full length GS test. You know, full length GS test means it will have history, economy, geography, polity, current affairs, all subjects will be there. Okay, that will give you clear-cut idea how you solve, what is your position, your stand while solving the full length test. Okay, how you score or what are the problems you face, and you how to rectify such issues also and try to improve your score. Okay, that's it. Let's wind up. Thank you so much.